Hello everyone, welcome back to the KMTRADERS channel. So this is the Crypto Weekly Analysis Volume 9. Again, we give you a look into the week ahead, what we've expected, and give you some analysis for this up and coming week. So essentially what we looked at last week, again, pretty much this similar story, right? So if you have been watching our videos before, essentially we're waiting for price to break the lows for all of the altcoins as well as Bitcoin. So we're waiting for price to break this critical low, and once we can do so, this is when we can start to pretty much take advantage and start to even look at some buying opportunities once we can get a good insight. So essentially what we spoke about in our previous videos as a recap is we have this area here drawn from this downtrend here pointed to this and then this outer downtrend, and we essentially create two different types of downtrends. So we have this space that we could potentially fill, and this is why we hold this area in the red box, because we could potentially fill this. So the scenarios that we do have potentially is that we could get price to push into this area and then drop down, or we have a second scenario, which is where price just ultimately leads and breaks and pushes into this area where it breaks the level, and then we can start to look into some buying options, right? So the ultimate thing that we want to happen, or want to see happen, is price to break the low, and if we can, then we can start to get ready for the next stage, and that is looking at buying opportunities. So each week I've been pushing along these arrows, so as you can see right now we're pretty much moving things across. But yeah, pretty much what's been interesting to see through last week is we got really close towards the low, but we never actually broke this low, and price is pretty much rallying up now. So this could be the spike that I was speaking about a couple of weeks ago, where we could get a price to push into this area. So if we get anything above the 36k, I think that will be sufficient enough for price to have this spike and fulfill this space that we've created here, to fill it. And then if it does do this, we could then expect price to sell off and head back into the 28k mark and to take out this low. And that's pretty much where I want price to go to anyway. If it doesn't happen, if this spike doesn't happen and we get price to break the low anyway, that's not a problem. We ultimately just want to get price to break this low. So yeah, that's pretty much where I stand with Bitcoin for this week. Interesting to see how price is kind of showing some bullish activity right now. So again, just highlighting the fact that we could see it, or could expect to spike up and then the drop as a possible scenario, or we'll just get price to just eventually turn over and roll over towards the downside. So keeping my mind's option, keeping both minds open, and yeah, we'll see how it all performs over the next few days or so. So in relation to Bitcoin, how it nearly came to the low, it's pretty much done a similar thing with all altcoins across the board. Some have broken its low, but we can go into that in a bit more detail. So pretty much what we've seen here is a similar story of Bitcoin, price not breaking this low. So it's not really too much that we can talk about right now. Again, we were just waiting for price to break this low, and once we do so, we can then start to look for those buying opportunities in which we can look for those long-term pushes. But yeah, as we can see, there is a bit of a bullish momentum coming, so we could expect the spike towards the upside. If we do see that, then there is a possibility that we could see price push up and then have a full rollover towards the downside. Again, we are wanting price to push lower and break this low, and I think that we do have that ability to do so. So yeah, again, just staying patient with this and just waiting for price to do its thing. So similar story with Cardano, the price came really close to the low, except we had some reaction from this, so price is now pulling back, kind of pushing up as well. And yeah, similar story. I think that we do have the ability to push lower for this one. So again, we're just waiting for price to get deep into this range and break this low. So yeah, nothing too special here again. So we're just waiting for price to break this low, and then we can look at that buying opportunity to watch it rally towards the upside. So similar thing with Litecoin, I believe, where price nearly came to this low. Price pretty much had some sort of rejection, So we've had some sort of reaction, so we're pretty much just waiting for price to break that low. And yeah, if we can do so, we can really get focused in now on potentially taking some buying opportunities. So yeah, we're just staying vigilant on this one. Hopefully I can actually make another week's video analysis, crypto analysis, before we actually get those buys, because right now anything can happen right now. I just really hope that we get to cover the analysis in the prior week before we see that lift off in price. But again, anything can happen, so just yeah, we'll see what happens obviously. But anyway, so Ethereum, so we can see price pretty much did a similar story. We can see price nearly came to that low that we created in June, nearly breaking that low, but it actually didn't. We saw some sort of bullish action, so we're just waiting for price to pretty much do its thing. We'll either see price rally up and then push lower, or we'll get price to push lower and take out this low, and pretty much that's really where I want price to go to, really. But yeah, we'll see if it can pretty much do a similar job like the rest of the coins. And finally, we're looking at Dogecoin. So Dogecoin was the only one that actually broke the low. So we're going to now see if price is capable of pushing up right now, because I think now that if price does break above the 28 cents mark, we should have the ability to push higher. Again, it's a very tricky one. I'm not entirely too convinced right now, because the way I'm seeing it is it's quite into space. Let me just quickly, so I know that I should have looked at this before, but I'm just going to quickly check my notes in my notebook right now. Hold on one second, because I do have something similar about this. I think I did write something down. I'm not entirely sure. Just wanted to double check. But yeah, ultimately, I think that if we start to see price moves towards the upside, breaking up, we could have that ability to start to see rallies pushing higher and higher. Another thing that I'm quite keen to see as well is we've got some divergence forming in as well. So I think that this could be the actual turnover. Funny enough, I think that this could actually be that turnover. So we could actually be looking at some buying opportunities right now. Let's just see. Maybe we should be looking at some buying opportunities in this. I'm going to possibly have a quick look over this in the weekend, just in a bit more detail, because I haven't really looked into any of the. I think there's a Binance situation in the UK, so I'm not entirely too sure if we can actually buy it. But maybe I've just seen something frequent. But yeah, maybe this could be a nice buying opportunity right now. I'm not entirely too sure, but I feel like where I'd be most confident, and I feel like where it would be better, it would probably be around the 30 cents mark. 30 cents mark for me would be a good risk to reward ratio, and also a good risk appetite as well. I like the way that there is divergence here, very strong divergence here, so we could have a possibility of turning price to turnover. So yeah, we'll see how we can, we'll see what happens and what comes from this over the next few days. The only reason why I'm not entirely too sure now is because of with the Bitcoin dominance right now is the fact that because we possibly expect price to push up and then push lower in Bitcoin, this could have that same possibility where price spikes up and then pushes lower for once more, and then has that ability to push high. So that's where I'm kind of in two stacks of minds right now. So yeah, so I think that we could have a nice ability to pretty much check in on the chart. So yeah, pretty much we'll see what happens at the 30 cents mark. I think that would be a good enough validation for me. I feel like confidence with that. If we have some sort of turnover here, I feel like we could get some profits here, but I'll be very quick to secure my secure some profits in that, and I don't think I will be holding on to this because there is a lot of way price could make lower with Bitcoin. So I don't know, we'll see what happens with this, but it's likely that we could get price to do one or two things, and I might as well just draw it out for the next week's video. So we'll get price to push up higher and then do something like this, or we will get a complete rally towards the upside. So yeah, one of the two things will happen. And again, you know, we can always take it the next opportunity. So I'm not entirely too bothered if we do miss this. Again, it just really depends what the opportunity lies at in real time. So yes, that's pretty much all I wanted to cover for this week's crypto analysis week. You know, there isn't been so much, but there has been, you know, it definitely is getting much more interesting as weeks are pushing on. So I think again the next week will be quite interesting. In the next few weeks or so, possibly July, August, September, could be very interesting. So definitely keep an eye out on our crypto videos, and we'll see where we can go through this week. So yeah, so thank you very much for listening, guys. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, we do have a training group that you can join. That link is in the description. Of course, I do appreciate your time for watching, guys. So thank you very much for listening all, and I'll see you all in our next video.